Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about the new myth manifest. Let me go to Reveries, enter here, Ashen Beast, right? So similar to all other myth manifests, there's 4 nodes, but before we talk about that, this is the passive. Smoke density is basically the charge. So just like all the manifests, there's a charge. So Ashen Beast is known as smoke density. At the start of each round, it helps to recover missing HP for all allies, so it has some healing. Then after actively casting a total of 4 incantation, I think there's a typo there, it dispels stats down and control effect from all allies, so it has some cleansing. Then the ultimate is a mass attack. The thing with the ultimate is that you use it once, it's like nothing special, but if you use it again in the same round, you get sturdiness, which is 25% damage reduction. Then you use it again, you get rousing morale. So how do you use it so many times? The thing is, when it charged the maximum, there are 3 charges. If you charge the max, you can instantly use it 3 times and it will deplete to 0. And then the beast, the Ashen Beast will enter the overload status. So if you have like 1 charge, you use it, it will not enter overload status. But again, if you do that, then you will not be able to get the 3rd tier, because the 3rd tier does has rousing morale, and this is quite good because if you have an enemy, or if you have a character that going to do a very big attack like ultimate or like a follow-up attack that is really huge like Semmelweis, you can use this and then you let the follow-up attack trigger, right? Then they will be doing a lot of damage. So yeah, so that is how you want to play Ashen Beast. I tried it. I like to charge it up and use all 3 stacks, and then charge it up, use all 3 stacks, rather than every time you charge up, use it so you don't go in overload. But in terms of frequency, if you don't go into overload, I believe you should be able to use more of the attack, which depends. It can be useful, it can be not. For me personally, I prefer to just charge it to max and then unleash it. Okay, for the nodes, okay, so far we only have several like DPS mineral, which is Jiuliangzi and Kaalaa Baunaa, and then Semmelweis sub DPS, Eternity now is also a sub DPS, then Pickles is also a sub DPS, more of a support. Eternity is also more of a support. Then we have Fatutu coming in, which is a support. So I won't be talking so much about how the support works. So basically for Jiuliangzi, what you want is going for this node and this node, right? The reason is because this node give Smoggy Haste, which increase the incantation might and penetration rate for extra action, and that's what Jiuliangzi does. So you just keep unlocking it. Alright, this one doesn't really matter, whichever you use. I don't find there's a big difference there. Okay, so if you unlock this, now Smoggy Haste is last 10 rounds, or else Smoggy Haste will only last for 2 rounds. So with 10 rounds, it's almost like it's perpetual, and then you need to just attack with Ashen Beast 5 times and you will get 5 stacks. So for Jiuliangzi's run, you might want to quickly use it at least 2 times at the start. Then you can wait for it to charge the maximum and then use 3 stacks, because by the time you do that, you get 5 stacks. You do not want to go overload and then you use all 3 stacks and then the Ashen Beast enter overload status, because it takes some time for it to unload back. Alright, so then you will be just getting 30% incantation might. Whereby if you use it at the start and then in the end you push it to the max and you use it, you can get 50% faster. Okay. This one is to charge smoke density, so it's okay. Because Jiuliangzi is doing a lot of follow-up attack. But if you're not confident that you are able to do so many follow-up attack, because you need to keep resetting, sometimes you don't get the incantation that you want for Jiuliangzi and you want a more consistent play, you can go for this one. Okay, at the start of 2 rounds, for every 2 type of positive status, shield, and whatsoever buff, all on all allies. So smoke density plus 5% up to 25%. Again, this have to be a lot of buff, right? So whichever you want, I would go with this one. This note is good for Chonyansi because Chonyansi need buff. And this when you actively cast the incantation, which is Ashen Beast incantation, not Chonyansi's incantation, you get collection of smoke status, which is all the positive status except for the one related to HP and crits. Okay, so go for this one. Damage reduction, very good. This gives you a moribund. Yeah, but if you don't plan to die, you don't need it. But if you're fighting a boss that will be hitting you so hard and you might not be prepared for it, then just go ahead. But it's only for mineral units, so you gotta bring like full mineral team. And this is pretty good. When you use the third charge, then you will enter heat overload, right? But at the same time, it will give us this for 3 rounds. So this 3 rounds is usually enough for the Ashen Beast to cool back down, and then you need another 1 more round in order to charge it back up. So there is a gap of 1 turn that you do not get this Fate Amidst of Fog buff. But most of the time, based on the few rounds that I did, this buff is actually pretty good and is enough. Okay, so at the end of the round, if HP is above 50%, you lose 15% of your current HP and gain a shield. Or if your HP is below 50%, you gain a shield based on your attack. And this shield lasts for 1 round and grant damage taken minus 20%. So you become more tanky. And together with this, 12% is like 32%. Alright? Yeah, so this would be my recommended Chonyansi's pathway. For Kaalaa Baunaa, you can go for the same one. Because Kaalaa Baunaa, when you use the ultimate, it will do a extra action. And usually this extra action will be a rank 3 incantation because it's based on the stars, the planets that she have, right? So you can set it up that she'll be doing a rank 3 incantation. So in that case, okay, you can go for this extra action. If you do not want to go for this extra action, you want additional defense because you feel like only after ulti is considered extra action and you don't want that. Okay, you can go for this note and this note. Because this note will make your character very tanky, but they will consume your HP. Right? This note consumes HP but makes you more tanky. Anyway, then you get, for every missing HP, you get penetration rate. Not mistaken, like 50% gone is already 30% penetration rate, which is pretty huge. Yeah. But with the shield given by Fate of Amidst, you don't have to be worried too much about your HP going down. So this note and this note is actually pretty useful. The last note here is basically making it faster to charge up Ashen Beast. And at the same time, when you use like this Sunlight Funeral, you also get to dispel. So for this one, you kind of like want to keep it to the max charge, and if you get some bad debuff, then you use it and you will cleanse. Okay, if it's in overload status, it will also cleanse, but only stats down, not negative status. Okay, so this one is very generic and it depends on fight. Obviously, if you're not fighting any enemy that has all this negative status, you don't have to activate it. If you're fighting against those enemy that have a lot of negative status and debuffs, you might want to activate this. So in fact, that will slightly change. Perhaps like Chonyansi will go for this node as well as this node, and just to activate the first node to get that collection of smoke status. Right? I don't have to go all the way to the end to get Fate of Amidst even for Chonyansi. Chonyansi is just interested in the buff. I can just go for this tree. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So just nice, I can fill up 2 nodes and go for this one. Okay. Anyway, let us not talk about this 4th node already. So let us just focus back on these 3 nodes. Again, if you are using Semmelweis, you might want to go for this extra action. Then you can go for the HP reduction because she has a lot of HP reduction. So I would recommend for Semmelweis, okay, this one's whichever you want as well. If you want more defense, you can go for both. This is sturdiness. This gives you healing for missing HP. And again, this one is to charge Ashen Beast, so just choose either one. Okay. When entering battle, all allies lose 30% current HP at the start of the round. So I like to go for this one because of the 30% loss in the HP. If you are using like Eternity or Semmelweis, you always start with lower HP, so they get more buff from their array, from their passive, and all those things. So this one will be for Semmelweis. For Eternity, we don't need extra action, right? So in that case, we go for this one and the one on the side. Okay, let me just unlock it. Okay, so this would be for Eternity. But mainly, like Pickles, I will go for this as well because there's no extra action. But Euphoria Pickles, then no, it will be for extra action. But again, if you are bringing Pickles, who will be your DPS? If your DPS is Jiuliangzi, then go for Jiuliangzi setup, right? So I'm just going to cover here. I don't think I will cover for Fatutu as well, because Fatutu again is a support character. If you are going for Jiuliangzi, then obviously this note. Okay, so Eternity, Semmelweis, Jiuliangzi. This is the three currently that I would recommend. There's a fourth one, which is General. So what I mean by General is sometimes you are fighting against some enemy in Reverie, and you already use your character in some of the stages, especially with a certain mismanifest. So you have no option to use the one that you want again. Like you use a plant team in the first set, and then you have another planting like Willow because there's poison, right? You can use it on the second stage, but your myth manifest, you have already used it. The plant one used in first stage, so what can you use for second? So sometimes Ashen Beast can come in because it does provide a lot of defensive buff, and that is very good. So it can just come and help you to act as like kind of like a tank. Okay, so here you can have this triggered, and this benefits everyone, which is more shield. And then if you get this one, this is just to make it faster, but where? Yeah, all this cleansing, they are generic. It's not that you have to be a mineral unit in order to use the cleansing. So for that situation, you might want to go for the last two, the two puff here. This is general, like you're using certain star team or plant team or whatsoever team, then you can use Ashen Plus, but just go for these two notes. All right, so that's all for this video. Hope you are able to understand Ashen Beast kit better, and you are able to use it better. So just remember to use the charges and the attack, right? And the more charge you have, the more attack, the stronger the attack becomes, with sturdiness, with rousing morale. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for watching and have a good day.